Yeah. Figures. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Mayor and Council of Princeton. It is August 28th, 2023. And could we have the meeting statement?
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, including the time, date, and location of the meeting. In addition, the agenda and all related materials were posted electronically and made available to the public on Princeton's meeting portal in advance of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Next, we're going to have the land acknowledgement. Actually, we need a microphone in order to do that.
Thank you, Mayor. We gather today on the land of the Lenni Lenape. As members of the Princeton community, we aspire to show appreciation, respect, and concern for all peoples and our environment. We honor the Lenape and other indigenous caretakers of these lands and waters, the elders who lived here before, the indigenous today, and generations to come.
Thank you. We have roll call, please.
Ms. Perone-Lambros?
Here.
Ms. Niedergang?
Here.
Mr. Cohen? Ms. Sachs? Yes. Ms. Fraga?
Here.
Mr. Newland?
Here.
Mayor Frida?
Here.
You have quorum.
Thank you. All right, if you care to rise, we'll all do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item, approval of minutes from the July 10th, 2023 meeting. If someone would move that.
Mayor, I'll just say I wasn't there, so I will abstain.
Okay. All right,
Mayor.
Leticia's going
I have a.
to move those. Leighton's got the second. Were there any questions or comments on the minutes from July 10th?
Yes.
Yes, Mia.
I think this was July 10th. I know I just lost it, but,
Take your time.
oops. Caleb Firing, his name was misspelled.
Okay.
It's C-A-L-E-B and then F-E-I-R-I-N-G. And then I'm quoted somewhere, which now I can't see, saying that the SID priorities need to be challenged to council. It was actually channeled.
Channeled, okay.
And the second part of that, the last part of that could just be deleted. I'm not sure that adds to what I was trying to convey.
Okay, those corrections will be made.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing that, I'm going to do in favor, against, and abstentions. So all in favor, say aye or raise your hand so the clerk can figure out who's saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any nays? Abstentions? Here we go. Okay, thank you. All right, next up are proclamations. We have a proclamation to read and then to present. So let me read it, and then we're going to come down and actually give it to you, Cliff. So it's a proclamation honoring Clifford Harmon on the occasion of his retirement. Whereas the municipality of Princeton is proud to recognize Clifford Harmon, municipal tree person of Public Works, for his dedication to public service on the occasion of his retirement. And whereas Cliff began his career with the Borough of Princeton on June 19, 1984, in the role of maintenance person for the borough's Department of Public Works. And whereas Clifford transitioned into the role of tree person for the borough on August 14, 1989. And whereas Clifford's expertise and dedication have helped to ensure the health and beauty of Princeton trees for over 3 decades. And whereas Clifford's retirement from the municipality of Princeton will be effective September 1, 2023. Whereas Clifford has served the community of Princeton with pride for 39 years, and upon the occasion of his retirement is deserving of recognition and the highest commendation. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Mark Frida, Mayor of Princeton, on behalf of the council, extend the municipality's humble expression of appreciation and sincere congratulations to Clifford. We offer our best wishes for a long, happy, and healthy retirement.
to the people.
I'm talking. I can't believe it. Yes, I started working for the borough June 19th, 1984. I was 23 years old. Time has flown, especially when you're having fun. I'm going to miss all my coworkers. Of course, I'm going to be down to visit all the time because I know I'm going to be bored somewhere along the line. But yeah, it was a pleasure working with everybody. I mean, I got along with everybody throughout the years, and you know, every day we laughed, we joked, you know, made the day go by smooth, you know, and it was a pleasure working for Princeton. I also want to thank my late Uncle Percy Randall, and the late Jim Glover, who was a foreman for the Borough of Princeton. They helped me get the job, and I stayed all this time, and I know they're proud of me. Thank you. Thanks.
They're gonna do picture.
Okay. Thank you all for your patience while we did that. We have one more proclamation. We're proclaiming the month of September 2023 as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas this year approximately 288,300 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in the United States alone. 1 man every 2 minutes, and roughly 34,700 will die this year from the disease, about 3,500 more than 2020, which is 1 man every 15 minutes. Whereas in New Jersey, an estimated 9,460 new cases of prostate cancer will be diagnosed, and an estimated 730 deaths will occur in 2023. Whereas men with relatives, father, brother, son, with a history of prostate cancer are twice as likely to develop the disease. Whereas prostate cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in American men and the 3rd leading cause of cancer death behind lung and colon cancer. Whereas 1 in 8 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, and 1 in 6 African American men will develop prostate cancer in their lifetime. Overall, African American men are 1.7 times more likely to be diagnosed with and 2.1 times more likely to die from prostate cancer than white men. Whereas veterans who are exposed to herbicides like Agent Orange are at increased risk for developing prostate cancer and are more likely to develop an aggressive form of the disease. Whereas education regarding prostate cancer and early detection strategies is critical to saving lives, preserving and protecting our families, as well as the economic and social burden of prostate cancer is huge on families. Whereas if caught early, prostate cancer has a 5-year survival rate of nearly 100%. However, for long-stage prostate cancer, the 5-year survival rate is 31%. Many more men will be diagnosed in 2023 at a later stage because of delayed screening and treatment due to COVID-19. All men are at risk for prostate cancer, and we encourage the citizens of Princeton to increase the importance of prostate cancer awareness and screening. Therefore, be it resolved, on behalf of the Mayor and Council of Princeton, we do hereby proclaim the month of September 2023 to be Prostate Cancer Awareness Month in Princeton. So that is our health warning for the evening. One that people should take seriously. So, thank you. Next up, announcements. So let's start with the council. Council Leticia.
Thank you. I just have one quick announcement. This is Human Services, and we'll be partnering with the Princeton Senior Resource Center to host a Loteria community building event. This is something we've done in the past with other community partners, which is like a Mexican bingo community building. It'll be Saturday, September 16th, from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Suzanne Patterson building. It's a free event, open to the public, and there will be lots of prizes and refreshments served. That's all.
Thank you. Other, Eve?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of announcements. From the Environmental Commission, I just wanted to, though this is also really a municipal initiative, just wanted to talk a little bit about the new composting program, which should be coming online in September. Is that right, Deanna? People will be able to sign up then?
Yes, sign-ups in September, operation in October.
Perfect. Perfect. So the initially it will be 2 sites. This site and Monument Hall for people to participate in composting, and assuming that's successful and we get the grant we've applied for, we hope to expand it. But despite some significant losses of people going off to take advantage of other opportunities in the Infrastructure and Operations Department, they've continued to pursue this, which is a very important initiative, and I know there's a lot of interest in the community in municipal recycling. So just wanted to mention that. Leighton and I think, are going to be volunteering on Wednesday, September 5th, which, at the Cornerstone Community Kitchen, which serves a meal and offers companionship on every Wednesday. They work in partnership with the Trenton Area Soup Kitchen. And so we'll be there on Wednesday, September 6th, to listen and to serve food. And I encourage my colleagues to also contact Cornerstone Community Kitchen to think about volunteering there.
Sure, you mentioned where that's actually going to be, the physical location.
It is at the Princeton United Methodist Church, which is on Nassau Street. Thank you, Mayor.
Yep, it's in the basement.
In the basement. And I just wanted, since we have a couple of resolutions up on behalf of the Animal Control Committee relating to deer management, I just wanted to say that there's been a recommendation that we do another spotlight count. We did a drone count last year, and there are some concerns that that was not accurate and overestimated the number of deer in the community. We still believe there are too many deer for the environment to support, but we'd like to do another count that we hope will be more accurate. And the proposal on that would be about $13,000. And just wanted to get a sense from my colleagues about investing in that. I think we really do need to have an accurate assessment in order to carry out this program, which we've been doing for 20 years. So barring objections, there'll be resolution on an upcoming agenda. And that's all I had.
Thank you. Other council announcements or reports? Layton.
Shop local, act local, eat local, dance local, think local. Thank you, Mayor.
Good man. Mia?
I wanted to give Leighton an opportunity to talk a little bit about the Housing Authority picnic this weekend, which I think was really exciting and
Can I do it now?
important event worth talking
Yes.
about.
I want to, wow, thank you, Madam President. This weekend on Saturday was the annual barbecue of the Princeton Housing Authority. It was a magnificent event. It was located and staged at Reading Circle in the senior area where the senior housing units are, 60 units. There were tables set up. I posted it on my Facebook account. We had community partners. I'm going to try to name them all. The Princeton Public Library, Princeton University, Community Kitchens, Princeton Senior Resource Center, Corner House. I'm probably going to forget somebody. We had a DJ there. We did the
Don't
electric
forget
slide.
the police were doing the burgers.
What?
The police were doing the.
That was my big thing. Not just the police, but our chief of police, John Boucher, cooked burgers and hot dogs all day long. There were at least, during the day, 10 to 12 police officers who showed up. The people had the most wonderful time. I'm getting emotional, that I have seen in a long time. And I just want to take my hats off to the brand new energetic board that is headed up by Felicia Spitz. John Clark and the maintenance staff are doing a phenomenal job. The volunteers and the partners, the community partners, all showed up and did one heck of a job. If you're like me and you've been affiliated with the Princeton Housing Authority over the past 25 years, and I'm going to be honest, I was the chair of the board, and I have seen this chairman of the board and this board do things in 2 years that I was unable to do with the boards that I had in 24 years. So I'll own that. But I'm so happy that as I grew in understanding what it was and what it means to give back and to build community and took on a leadership position here, thanks in large part to people like Mia Sachs who believed in me, and Eve and others, and Letitia, everybody. And to be able to see and help facilitate the upper movement of people from the community to be a part of the board and to see what now is happening and has happening is such a blessing for people who can use and need blessings. So thank you, Madam President, for giving me that opportunity. Thank you, Eve, for showing up. Letitia, thank you for bringing more happiness than I've seen on people's faces in a long time by your creative ability to face paint and to make people smile. Mark, you weren't able to be there, but you called, and we made an announcement letting people know that you had a family emergency, and we hope Hillary, your mother-in-law, is doing well. But thank you again, Mia, for the opportunity to share such a wonderful, wonderful story.
Thank you, Lee. Other council comments or reports? All right, Bernie, any? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's the same announcement I made 2 weeks ago, but I want to make it again because it's really exciting. September 28th will be our celebration of 10 years of consolidation. So it's going to be a big celebration here at 400 Witherspoon from 4:30 to 6:30. Lots of recognition of all of the people that were involved in the transition. And we've invited some dignitaries to attend and speak. And so everyone should turn out because it's really a great thing to celebrate. So real excited. Thank you.
Thanks for that reminder. Bernie, anything staff level we need to?
Yeah. Mayor, I just want to remind everyone, the university is back as of last Friday, and our public schools start next Tuesday, so if everyone could be extra careful on the roads, it would be appreciated.
Good thought. Thank you. All right, I think next up, Isaac.
Good evening, Your Honor. Pleased to be here to give you an update on Experience Princeton. So 4 things that we've been working on in the last 30 days. Our Princeton Monthly e-blast went out to 3,440 emails with a 53% open rate. So that's continuing to grow. Preparations continue for the Spend Princeton card to encourage people to shop at local businesses. So we're looking at a launch going into the holiday season. We're in the early phase where we're getting businesses to sign on for a card that can only be used here in Princeton. Very exciting. We're finalizing a work plan for the organization to guide our work and the teams and their work in the year ahead. And last but not least, the Streetscapes team recently was looking at activating some of our vacant storefronts to really bring them to life and help them present better. In fact, I have a meeting tomorrow on that. So what are we working on in the next 30 days? There's 3 ribbon cuttings coming up for businesses in the first 2 weeks of September. JAG One, a wonderful physical therapy business, is opening on Chambers Street. The ribbon cutting is September 6th at noon. The Center for Anxiety will be their neighbor across the street at 16 Chambers Street. Ribbon cutting September 11th at 2 p.m. And last but not least, Princeton Bridal is opening at the Princeton Shopping Center, and their ribbon cutting is September 15th at 4 p.m. So we're very excited to welcome them all and encourage people to come out and be part of welcoming these new businesses. Some other things we're working on are holiday promotions. We're looking for events to highlight in our upcoming campaign. The Vegan Chef Challenge starts in September, and we have many Princeton businesses participating. If you Google that and look it up, you can see how Princeton is right up there with all the top cities throughout the country participating in this challenge, and it really highlights all the wonderful vegan options that we have in town. Last but not least, the first Experience Princeton breakfast will be held Thursday, September 14th at the Nassau Diner. And we're really excited to start this as a way to connect with our businesses in person and really find out and hear from them what we can do to be helpful. So with that, one big item I want all of you to know about, if you've been watching the news lately, that Central New Jersey was officially designated as a region with the governor's signature on Friday. And I previously spoke to you about the importance of this with tourism funding and a greater share of that coming to us. So I'd really encourage you to think of how do we work with the farms and the breweries and also with our restaurants to highlight all those wonderful assets that we have in the region. And I'm very pleased to report that Princeton will be featured in an upcoming fall promotion through Discover Central New Jersey, which we help to facilitate working with our partners. With that, it's my report.
Isaac, thank you. Council, any questions or anything for Isaac? Great. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Isaac. Keep up the good work.
Next up are public comments for items not on the agenda. If anybody in the room or on Zoom has something they want to bring up that's not an agenda item, this would be the time to do that. Seeing no one in the room and no hand up on Zoom, we'll close that part of the meeting. Next up is an ordinance introduction. Ordinance 2023-27, an ordinance of the municipality of Princeton adopting the floodplain management regulations of the municipality of Princeton and amending the code of the Borough of Princeton, New Jersey, 1974. The public hearing will be September 11th, 2023. Okay, Eve, thank you for the motion, and Leighton has the second. That's a roll call vote.
Ms. Pearl Lambos?
Yes.
Ms. Niedergang?
Yes.
Ms. Sachs?
Yes.
Ms. Fraga?
Yes.
Mr. Newland?
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you very much. Next, we have resolutions. 23-267, resolution of the Mayor and Council of Princeton authorizing a professional services agreement with Arterial LLC for Heinz Plaza concept design and community outreach in the not-to-exceed amount of $32,500. Would someone make a motion on that? Thank you, Michelle. Is there a second? Leighton's got the second. Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I'm sorry, Michelle?
No, I was just going to comment that I think it's a really good idea to have that kind of public outreach. Arterial has been working with us on the Nassau Streetscape, so this would be a similar process, so I think it's really good, and I commend Deanna and her team for having the foresight to bring them on, so thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Any other comments, questions? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 23268, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton authorizing a contract with GT Mid-Atlantic as the dealer for Case Construction using Sourcewell National Cooperative Purchasing Contract Number 032119-CNH-1, construction equipment and services, for a Case 721 GXR wheel loader and cleanup grapple for $276,576. Is there a motion on that? Thank you, Leighton. And Eve's got the second. Questions or comments? Yes, everything is very expensive when you get into big equipment. Sorry. It's just crazy what everything costs these days. Okay. Any other, seeing no other questions or comments, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
23269, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton supporting a speed limit reduction from 40 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour on Route 571. That's the portion of Washington Road in Princeton. Thank you. Eve's got the motion. Michelle's got the second. Questions or comments?
Just a quick question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I obviously, I guess we're okay with Washington Road, but I thought Washington Road was part of more of a county road as well.
Yeah, so we're just supporting the county. We're going in, yeah, so we're just saying to the county, we're in favor of you doing this.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Thank
that
you.
we're actually doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Other questions or comments? I'm sorry. Just Eve and then Michelle. Go ahead.
I just want to thank the county for this initiative. I think it's a great idea in response to a lot of the construction done by the university, but I'm all in favor of slowing down traffic in virtually every place. Not to a standstill, but slower.
Thank you,
And
Michelle.
hopefully this is tied into what the university presented to us about 6 months ago, to bring in bike, infrastructure and, really have better bike and pedestrian infrastructure there. So that's exciting news. So I'm all for it.
Okay, thank you both. Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
23270, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton determining the form and other details of not exceeding $1,565,042 bonds of Princeton in the county of Mercer, New Jersey, and providing for their sale to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank and the state of New Jersey, and further authorizing the execution of various agreements, all pursuant to and as required by the New Jersey Water Bank. Say that 2 or 3 times fast. Thank you, Mia. Is there a second? Sorry, Michelle, thank you. Questions or comments? Just so we know, the wording on these things is required by New Jersey iBank, so it has to be worded kind of what we might think is a little strange, but that's just the way it's got to be. All right. All in favor, please say aye.
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 23271, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton providing for the combination of certain issues of bonds of Princeton in the county of Mercer, New Jersey, into a single issue of bonds aggregating not to exceed $1,565,042 in the principal amount for sale to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank. Is there, Mia, thank you, and Michelle's got the second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
23272, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton awarding a contract to John Sampini, Suburban Deer Management Association for bow hunting services on public lands in connection with Princeton's 2023-2024 deer management program. Eve has a motion. Is there a second? Thank you, Leighton. Any questions or comments?
I'm wondering if Councilwoman Niedergang wants to respond to some of the questions that I sent earlier.
I think that there was a resident of Princeton who suggested a couple of places where we could add the word humanely to this contract, and I shared that with our attorney, and she indicated that that could be done without changing the sense of the contract. So I think that can be done and still move forward tonight.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
And I had a few more.
I'm sorry?
I had a few more to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering. The other issue was the suggestion of Zampini shall endeavor not to remove does with young fawns. Is that a something that is?
I'm going to let Trishka speak to this one.
On that one, number one, I don't know if that's feasible, not feasible. I also, I can't speak for whether they go out and will actually take a doe that's got a young fawn that may still be nursing. I mean, I can't answer the question definitively. It would surprise me if they did, because they're conscientious, but I would be reluctant to add language last minute to that effect to a resolution or a contract without being able to, understand the impact, make sure it's worded correctly. And to
And
the
I-
extent that you may want to carry this, I would urge you please not
No,
to.
no,
I think the sense, Mia, if the resident is talking about that fawns that are reliant on their mothers solely, the seasonality of this, when this is done, the fawns are no longer solely nursing. And also that deer travel around in matrilineal groups, so there will always be animals of different ages with the doe. But in terms of worry, I think reading between the lines, if the concern is that a fawn that is a couple of months old that does not yet have another means of sustaining themselves, just in terms of the seasonality of when the does give birth. Again, I'm not an expert, but when the does give birth and when the hunting is, those fawns should be eating grass by the time hunting season opens. So they're not solely reliant on nursing for food, if that was the concern. But since they do live in groups, the fawns live sometimes for a year or two with their mothers, it would be very hard to have a ban for that long a period.
No, I understand there's a time-sensitive component. I'm just raising these questions because every year I raise questions, and I feel like we're every year moving towards an
We can certainly
improvement.
share with the provider. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a legitimate question. We can absolutely make John aware of that. And as I said, I'd be very surprised if there were a very small nursing fawn that these guys would actually take the mother. I mean, they're professionals. They're not out there.
One would hope, but it's
for the heck of
worth
it.
raising.
No, I'll definitely pass that on.
The other was the locations were not. It was difficult the locations. It was not entirely clear.
I
And-
can address that.
And just making sure that the
so-
public understands. 'Cause the map
Absolutely.
was
The
a
bow
li-
hunting agreement, they are actually listed out because that's the final document with respect to the bow hunting. The White Buffalo contract does not specifically list out the public properties. Those, I think we normally would do as part of the actual community-based deer management plan application. All of that said, every property must be posted in advance of anything happening, and we publish a notice, I think, more than once in the newspaper and on the website. We simply, we never proceed without the public having ample warning, because among other things, it's a safety measure, but it's also just unfair. The public needs to know who's operating in these parks. So again, I think it's a legitimate concern. The good news is it's one that we've been addressing for 20 years and will continue to address.
So it looks like the Butler Tract has been removed this year.
We've never, well,
There has been bow hunting on the Butler Tract.
that's not, our agreement is strictly for Princeton-owned properties.
That's a
Whether, I think
university
Butler
contract.
Tract, yeah, that's a separate arrangement with
Okay.
the university. It's never been part of our agreement.
Okay. And then finally, it seemed like overkill. Deer are to be removed by means of shooting and are by the use of drop nets and captive bolt guns. Center fire rifles shall be used except in special situations where 22 caliber rimfire rifles may be used. Drop nets are to be used only in those areas where a firearm cannot be safely discharged. It did seem like if that could just be explained, it's like, how many times are you going to kill the deer?
Well, that's fair enough. And I mean, look, in the future, we can certainly streamline it. I think what is very important, what that language is trying to do, is constrain where the drop nets can be used.
Okay.
And really make it clear that that is only to be used where you can't do sharpshooting. And the reference to the types of weapons used, yes, I totally understand like the visceral reaction to that. Again, that is to make it very clear that White Buffalo has to use highly, highly accurate weaponry. I hate to use that
Those
term,
questions
but
really don't pertain to the
no,
the
but that's why
resolution.
there's so much specificity is what I'm trying.
Right,
Even
no,
though
but
it
I'm saying the
seems like it's
resolution
redundant.
we're-
That's for the next
resolution that we're
resolution.
voting on is the bow hunting resolution. It sounds
But
like you're getting it.
subsequently, you're also, yeah,
guys
the
are getting
comment I
into the
think
next
went
resolution.
to a bit of
Yeah,
both.
Right, so we should-
getting them all up at, all
Okay,
the
so
questions
let-
at once.
Yeah, we should stick with, I don't want to confuse
Fair enough.
people.
Yep,
The
yep.
No,
bow
that's
hunters
fair.
are not using nets.
No, you're
They're not-
absolutely, nor
Yeah.
are they
So-
using
So we should,
Good point,
rifles.
good point. All right.
I'm just saying, so why don't we just,
Save that for the next one.
That's fair.
yeah, hold it. Okay. Any other questions on the bow hunting contract or bow hunting agreement? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, next
And-
up is,
And I'm sorry, Mark,
I'm sorry.
I appreciate all the work that has been done, but as every year, I have to abstain as a matter of conscience. So-
Oh, okay,
but
I'm sorry.
I appreciate all the work that has been done, and I understand the rationale, but just for my own personal, I have to
yeah,
abstain.
not a problem. Thanks for, I should have remembered that. You got that. Thank you, Raina. 23-273, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton awarding a contract for extraordinary unspecifiable services to White Buffalo, Inc. in connection with Princeton's 2023-2024 Deer Management Program. Eve's got the motion, and Leighton's got the second. Thank you very much. Questions or comments?
Sorry,
Mia, did you get through that?
Yeah, so I guess we just want to apply the same question to this. And, you know, can you just, I know you explained this last year, but why the bow hunting is not enough and we also need to be using rifles and drop nets and bolt guns and all these additional things?
Yes. Part of it has to do with access, but primarily it has to do with the nature of how the hunting is taking place. The bow hunters are constrained by normal hunting regulations in terms of, you know, there's limitations on when they can be out on properties, what types. Well, they're limited obviously to bows and crossbows, which is far less efficient than what White Buffalo is able to do. White Buffalo can use weaponry that would not otherwise be allowed, i.e. the rifles, which are far more accurate. They can actually, because of the efficiency, again, I'm sorry to be talking about killing things because I hate it too.
It is.
But they can take an entire group of deer in like that. With bow hunting, it's one at a time, it's painstaking. So there are simply efficiencies. Some of it also just has to do with access to properties. But what we've always tried to do is have the bow hunting, especially on the public lands, that takes place first. White Buffalo comes in and in essence is trying to supplement the efforts of the bow hunters, not replace them. And the netting, which I understand why that's the most upsetting, there are simply parts of town where the houses are too close together to make using a rifle safe. And there are distance requirements that have to be met and that it's just impractical, but you still have residents there that really want relief from the deer, and that's pretty much the only way to provide it. But again, that use is limited. It really is just to fill some gaps, basically.
Thank you so much, Trishka. I hope, you know, we'll continue to figure out more evolved and humane ways to deal with this. But
Well, as you'll see next month, there is a concerted effort to use sterilization where it's feasible. I cannot tell you that the state is embracing the idea warmly and enthusiastically, but
yeah.
we're determined.
And thank you for all your work on this and for the comprehensive explanations. I appreciate it.
Any other, Michelle?
it seems like I have to ask this question. When we sterilize the dough, I see that they're going to have a collar and some type of marking. Will Zambini next year know not to aim for those dough? I mean, it seems like a lot of money we're spending to sterilize. There'll be a lot of dough out there that are not sterilized. I'd hate to be, you know.
So a couple of things on that. So first off, there's all the doughs that are sterilized will have to be tagged. And in addition, the proposal is to put radio collars on, I think, like the boss dough, because every herd will have a boss. And that's really to gain information, to track movements and all the rest. So that's sort of more for data gathering. In terms of John knowing not to kill a sterilized dough, again, that's certainly something we can pass on, but the sterilization, again, we're targeting parts of town that neither the bow hunters nor the sharpshooters can access. And, you know, the goal is to use sterilization where it's possible. It's just not nearly as efficient, and therefore it's extremely costly.
Okay.
And then use the other means to try to supplement. It's just unfortunate that it's not practical to do town-wide.
Yeah.
But the risk, I think, of the bow hunters coming across a tagged deer is low. I can't tell you if it's impossible or not. I can certainly, again, make clear to them the sensitivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deer have a surprisingly narrow range. You would think they're big animals. They're traveling for miles and miles and miles, but they're real
prey.
home buddies. They, you know.
No, they're prey. They
So,
have to stay in
yeah.
an environment that they know, and they know basically what's safe and what isn't.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm sorry, yeah.
Just one more question, which I ask every year. I just want to make sure that we're monitoring the use of that the food is that the deer are being processed and used for, I
Yes.
think, for food insecure areas, and that it's being efficiently used.
Yes, the butcher that we use, well, number one, the deer are actually transported by your animal control officer. So, and there's all kinds of checks to make sure that they are going to the right butcher. These butchers participate in something called Hunters Helping the Hungry. So all of that venison is this, even, you know, recreational hunters that have nothing to do with our program will often use the Hunters Helping the Hungry program to donate the meat, all the rest. So yes, it's a very long-winded answer of there are a number of checks to ensure that it is getting where it's supposed to.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, Eve.
I just want to add, since you brought it up, our animal control officer, Jim Ferry, this is, as you said, he's up, you know, every single night, basically delivering deer, you know, picking up a
On
deer
top
car.
of his
And-
regular job. This
Right,
is not
so
in lieu of.
we would not be able to do this without his dedication and his incredible work ethic. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know. if
Yeah,
I'll-
I don't want to take up the council's time unnecessarily, but I do want to throw out the feedback from White Buffalo. I mean, literally, this program and the success of the program depends on, in large measure, on your animal control officer. And there was a 2-year period where you had an animal control officer who was not up to snuff, and the program really suffered as a result. White Buffalo loves working with Jim.
Good.
They absolutely love him. They say he's terrific, and he does everything that he needs to do, and then some.
Any other questions or comments? I will just echo that Jim Ferry is another one of our outstanding employees, which we have very many, thank God. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 23-274, resolution of the,
Mayor, I think Mia wants to.
oh, I'm sorry.
One abstention.
Oh, I'm sorry, right, Mia's
That's
abstaining.
Okay. It's okay, y'all. Do what we need to do.
Do what you got to do. We're there. 23-274, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton authorizing a second extension to the temporary revocable license agreement with Rider University for public parking at Westminster Choir College. Mia's got the motion. Leticia's got the second. Questions or comments? Michelle?
Could, maybe Deanna can just give us a little background on why we decided to go forward with this another contract. If I can ask you
Yes,
to-
so as the mayor stated, this is the second extension. It is a reduction of the parking permission from what we had previously. Now, we reduced from 193 spaces to 107 spaces. The monthly fee is reduced from $2,000 to $1,000. This will allow our program for business permits to continue for the parking area while our numbers are very low. It is being used, so we are continuing to be able to support that program. We also have included or continued to include a provision to allow the Princeton High School students to utilize the parking lot. This was in the first extension, but because we had the Franklin lot available, that was used at the time rather than moving the students over to the Westminster lot. Now with the upcoming development of the Franklin lot, we needed another location for the students to park. While they still have parking permissions for Franklin Avenue roadway itself near Walnut, as well as Geo, they were going to be losing about 60 to 70 parking spaces that are currently in the lot. So by extending the license agreement, then we can just move the students over into that lot when school starts next week.
Great. All right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Eve?
I just have to say I'm fundamentally opposed to providing parking for high school students, and for that reason, I'll be opposing this.
You wouldn't want them to walk or bicycle?
I would not.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Okay.
Okay. No other questions or comments? All in favor, wave your hand just so Rena can see who's saying aye. Those opposed? We got that. Okay, thank you. 23-275, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton authorizing a scope amendment to the professional services agreement with T&M Associates for Witherspoon Street Phase 3 design services and a fee increase in the not-to-exceed amount of $5,414 for a new contract amount of $384,878. Is there a motion on that? Leighton, thank you. Is there a second? Eve, thank you. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
23-276, resolution of the mayor and council of Princeton rejecting bids for one high water rescue truck and directing substantial revisions to be made to the specifications. Is there a motion? Thank you, Michelle. Leticia's got the second. Questions or comments? Eve?
I missed the meeting at which this came up, but I just want to say I really appreciate all the staff reports explaining the details of this and the arguments for why we should redo this contract and specify, what we really need and want. The memos were very clear and completely convinced me that paying a lot more money was getting us a product that was really a lot better for the municipality, that had a warranty, and that would actually meet the emergency requirements for which we need the high water truck. So thanks to all who participated in that.
Thank you, Eve. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank all my colleagues who were here. For the public who think things just come before the council and get rubber stamped, that should be a reassurance that there are 7 people here minding the store, and if there's something that doesn't look right, we ask for more clarification and wait until it comes back in a form that makes sense for the people we represent. So,
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Next up is the consent agenda. There are 4 items. If no one needs any of them to be pulled out of there, Leticia is moving the consent agenda. Thank you. Eve's got the second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, the consent agenda is passed. David's not here. Does someone want to make a, Eve?
Oh, I don't think I've ever done this. I have, well, I take great pleasure in moving to adjourn.
There we go. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michelle. All in favor, say aye.
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 We are done. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.